This video has been copyright claimed by Molebeat. Hey guys, what's up? Sturmo11 here, and I'll be talking about the next episodes in Beyblade Burst. The video that got a copyright claim actually did very good for some reason, so I had some ideas for part 2, and well, here we are. Beyblade Burst is on some sort of break on Disney XD at the moment. I'm not sure why. They don't really give any details when Yokai Watch, Pokemon Sun and Moon, or Beyblade Burst don't have any new episodes, and it's fine. It's no big deal. So, episodes 12 through 32. That's a lot, and there are no descriptions online for these episodes, so don't fail me now, memory. These episodes cover the ending of the first tournament, the match between the Sword Flames Club, and the beginning of the team tournament. There's actually a lot of material here. So, Vault fights Wakia and defeats him. Vault faces Shu in the finals, and well, Vault actually loses. I thought this was good to keep the character grounded. With the way that he started in this series, it would make no sense for him to defeat Shu at this point. Also, it's very hard to even tell Vault's skill level because it just seems inconsistent, but I'll be getting into that later. The match between Vault and Shu was actually pretty good. If you remember, Shu still had his shoulder injury at this point, so he was trying to end his matches quickly. Xander, a guy from Vault and Shu's childhood, is introduced, and he's stronger than both of them. They visit him in his Beyblade club, and they have a match with Vault's club versus Xander's club, the Sword Flames. Again, Beyblade Burst does something interesting with characters taking out most members on each team, like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Super. Xander's Beyblade has a sword designed into it, so that's pretty cool. Xander's first member, Yugo, loses to Vault, but after that, Xander destroys their team. They have another member named Ukio that also destroys their team, but then Ken steps up and he takes down Ukio, Yugo, and loses to Xander. This was very interesting because Vault defeated all of the members in his club except Shu, so you'd think he'd be stronger than them, but that might not be the case. And Ken shows that he stands out in the club, and then he has to switch schools because his family is moving. I thought this was an odd thing to do, to get rid of a character in the middle of a show. I thought this was good as I googled the show, and as I said, there aren't any descriptions for the episodes, so I thought Ken was gone for good. Vault's club ends up losing to the Sword Flames, and there was also a weird concept about Vault's Beyblade evolving. To me, it seemed like it kind of came out of nowhere. I'm guessing evolving is just him getting a new form of Beyblade, but they just kind of went about it in a weird way. The next arc concerns the Arena Selection Tournament, which is basically for characters that have lost to get a chance in the national tournament. A new character by the name of Zack is introduced, and he's another strong contender. Daigo starts cheating to win, and I really hate cheaters in anime, so it made his scenes with him cheating, it made it kind of hard to watch because I just don't like those scenes. And Daigo, he ends up quitting the Bay Club due to his cheating because he feels bad for it and everything. And at some point, Shu helps him get over this, and I don't know exactly when, so I just decided to put that in here. Shu and Wakia end up joining the Beyblade Club for the upcoming team tournament, and then there's some training at Wakia's estate, and the rules for the team tournament are a team of 3 versus another team of 3, and basically it's the best 2 out of 3. So Vault, he ends up meeting Quan, one of Xander's old team members, and finds out that he's a member of a team called Ice Blaze. And Vault loses to Quan in the tournament, and this makes Wakia upset, and he uses it against Vault a lot. Like, this gets into something that I wanted to discuss. Wakia, his character, he's super mean. They explained how he grew up, but who cares? Like, this guy has no redeeming qualities, and I feel like I have to be missing something here. Was there something that was changed in the dub, or was there something in Japanese that I'm missing? Because he is just mean. He doesn't change. He's always mean. We're on episode 32 of Beyblade Burst, and this guy has not changed at all. And Wakia insulting Vault over his loss actually causes more problems for Vault and the team. This whole situation lasts a few episodes, and I think Wakia's main argument was that Vault is the leader of the team and he shouldn't lose, and by Vault losing, it makes their team look weak, it makes their leader look weak, and someone else should be the leader of the team. And I get that this whole situation upset Wakia, but if he had told Vault, it's gonna be okay, we picked up the slack, everything's fine, if you do badly, you still have your team members to support you, I feel like that's more something that he should say. I don't think we would have as many problems, and we wouldn't have had to have Vault get more development in all these episodes if Wakia was more polite to Vault, if that makes any sense. If you notice in the anime, whenever Wakia is rude to Vault, it causes Vault to be upset and off his game. And I feel like he needs character development, or he needs to tone down the meanness. It's a little too much, and it's starting to get annoying to watch, and actually it's been annoying to watch. Ken returns to the series for the team tournament, and he's with a new team, and this was a good surprise since I couldn't spoil myself on it. And finally, the concept of the Supreme Four is introduced. In Japanese, they're called emperors. And the four emperors, or the Supreme Four, the members are Shu, Xander, Zack, and Lou. The Supreme Four is an interesting concept that really reminds me of the Generation of Miracles from Kuroko's basketball. And this goes even further as we see Vault getting stronger and stronger and approaching the Supreme Four as Vault defeats Zack in a battle. And I wanted to go over a few more things before I end this video off. I still don't like the battles in this series. The concept is realistic, and I think that's what hurts it. The Beyblades break into pieces like real ones would, and it doesn't take much to do that in this series. And there's a concept where they have the Beyblade go into the center of the stadium, and it's just not flashy. And maybe that's the problem with the battle. They're not as flashy as the Metal Saga, and sure, by having the 3-point system, they can have more than one battle and have different approaches to those battles, but the fights can end very fast, and they make sure to do that. If a fight starts in an episode, it usually ends in that episode unless it's a very important fight. There are breaks within the tournaments, which is alright, but I don't get why they have these breaks. If I remember properly, the last show would go through a tournament and only take breaks if the stadium was destroyed or something, or if they were traveling, which I guess makes this okay. So maybe I'll take that complaint back. Vault not being an expert at the game is fine, but after 20-something episodes into Beyblade Burst, I think he should know what he's doing with Beyblade. And it's weird how Vault gets respect from others, but he's still losing at points in the series. And I want a main character that loses, but I also want one that wins. And I want to feel like Vault is strong, and he simply lost because someone is better. I feel like many times when Vault loses in Beyblade Burst, it's because he's off his game. You know, Wakia says something horrible, and then Vault starts messing up. Shu and Xander are stronger than Vault, so if he loses to them, that makes sense at the moment, but we see Vault getting stronger, but he's still losing, and that's the part that makes Beyblade Burst very confusing. And things get even stranger when Wakia and Shu win their battles, and Vault loses, and Vault beat Wakia, he didn't beat Shu. And I guess the main problem with this series is that I don't know who's good and who's bad at Beyblade. And plus there was that situation where Ken was strong, he just stepped up and he's suddenly stronger than the team. I doubt any of the characters are bad at Beyblade, but I just kind of need a ranking system. You know, the Supreme Four, they're above everyone. And then I guess next it's Vault, and next it's Wakia. But who's after that? Is that Ken? Or do these change, like, these rankings, do they change from episode to episode or something? Because it's just weird. So if anyone could explain that and make some sense out of that, I would appreciate it. I think the launches are cool. The launches are the techniques that they use in this series, but they don't beat the special moves from the Metal Saga. And maybe I'm comparing the series to the Metal Saga too much, but even if I were to judge it on its own, it still has some problems. And those are my thoughts on Beyblade Burst so far. So if you're watching the English dub, what do you think about the anime so far? And if you're watching Beyblade Burst God, what are your thoughts on that so far? Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like my content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. The links are below. I'm Surmo11. See you next time, and peace out.